80% of employees are rejecting their company's AI tools, bypassing them entirely, going back to doing things manually. And honestly, this is the best news I've heard all year. Not because AI is failing, but because it confirms exactly what I've been telling you, that the problem was never the technology. It was always the approach. And the businesses that figured that out, they're not in the 80%. They're in the group seeing 10 to 18 times returns on their investment right now, while everyone else is watching their budget disappear into tools nobody uses. Stay with me, because I'm going to show you exactly where the line is and which side of it your business is on. Here's what we're covering today. I'm going to walk you through what the data actually says about AI adoption right now. Not the hype, not the doom, the actual numbers from MIT, Howard Business Review, Fortune, and Morgan Stanley, published in the last 60 days. Then I'm going to show you why the backlash is happening and why it was completely predictable if you understood the real problem from the start. And then, this is the part that matters to you. I'm going to show you what separates the businesses that are compounding with AI from the ones that are burning money on it. Because there is a real line. It's not about budget, it's not about team size, it's not about which tools you have. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So let's go. Let's start with what's real. A global survey is published this month, right? 3,750 executives and employees across 14 countries. They found that more than 54% of workers bypassed their company's AI tools in the last 30 days, completed the work manually instead. Another 33% haven't used AI at all. And combined, roughly 80% of enterprise workers are either avoiding or actively rejecting the technology their companies and employers are spending record sums to deploy. Now, here's the stat that stops every executive in their track. 75% of the same executives, the ones mandating AI adoption, the ones tying it to performance reviews, the ones threatening people's jobs over it, 75% of their company's AI strategy is, quote, more show than actual governance. Let me say that again. 3 out of 4 executives pushing forced adoption of AI don't actually have a real strategy behind it. They have a performance, a board slide, a headline, and the employees figure that out. 50% of C-suite leaders said that this is tearing their company apart. 25% of employees admit to actively sabotaging their company's AI initiative. That number jumps to 44% among Gen Z workers. And here's the money problem. Literally, Morgan Stanley found that only 21% of S&P 500 companies could cite a measurable AI benefit at all. IBM puts the number of AI initiatives actually delivering expected ROI at 25%. MIT spent a year studying this. They're finding 95% of AI pilots deliver zero measurable P&L impact. Zero. Not modest, not disappointing, zero. And here's why that matters and why it's not actually surprising. Here's what most of the AI conversation completely miss. There are 2 completely different things happening under the word AI adoption, and almost no one is separating them. The first one is tool deployment. You sign up for a platform, you give your team access, you track usage numbers, you report activity to your board, boxes checked. The second thing is infrastructure. You identify a real constraint in your operation. You build connected systems around that constraint. You embed AI into the actual workflow, not on top of it, not beside it, inside it. So that every time that process runs, your businesses get smarter. Most companies are doing the first thing and calling it the second. That is the entire source of the backlash. That is the entire source of the disappointment. That is why 95% of pilots fail. MIT didn't just give us the failure rate, they gave us the reason. They found that roughly 80% of the work required to move from AI pilot to AI production is data engineering, workflow integration, governance, and measurement infrastructure. 80% of the work isn't the AI at all, it's the system the AI runs inside of. Insight Partners put it this way earlier this year. They said that companies that treated AI as connective tissue rather than a pain solution are reshaping how their businesses scale. The companies that layer AI on top of fragile workflows in pursuit of quick wins, the novelty has faded. The results never came. This is not a new lesson. We've seen this exact pattern before. Every transformational technology, the internet, mobile, cloud, it went through the same cycle. Early hype, forced adoption, backlash, and then a split. The operators who built real infrastructure pulled so far ahead that the gap became permanent. We are in the backlash phase of that cycle right now. And here's the thing about backlash phases. They are the best time to build because everyone else is distracted by the noise. So let's talk about that 29% because in all this data, the disappointing ROI numbers, the sabotage stats, the performance strategies, there is a group of businesses seeing real returns, not marginal, significant. How would Business Review Analytic Service publish research this month, right? They said that 71% of organizations that embedded AI directly into their processes realized substantial or moderate value from those efforts. BCG and Forster found that the median time to value on a properly deployed agent system is 5.1 months. Top performers are seeing 10 to 18 times ROI. Organizations deploying AI across core operations, not as a tool people open and close, but as a system embedded in how their businesses actually run, are reporting 20 to 40% productivity gains in 1 year. So what are these businesses doing that the other 71% aren't? The research is clear on this. There are 4 things. 1, they tie AI directly to revenue outcomes, not usage metrics, not activity, revenue. They start with the constraint, the things that are actually limiting their growth, and they build from there. 2, they treat AI adoption as organizational redesign, not a technology rollout. They're not asking which tools should we use. They're asking, how did this change how we operate? That's a completely different question with a completely different answer. 3, they implement governance before they scale. They know what the system is doing, how it's doing it, and how to measure whether it's working. They're not running blind. 4, business teams own the workflow, not IT, not an AI committee. The people who understand the constraint own the system built to solve it. Now, here's what I want you to notice about those 4 things. None of them are about the technology. Every single one is about how you build the system the technology runs inside of. That's the line. That's the whole thing. And here's why this matters significantly for you. For the entrepreneur, the consultant, the business owner watching this right now, you don't have $54 million digital transformation budget. You don't have an enterprise IT department. You don't have 12 months to run a pilot program. But you have something those companies don't have. You can move fast. You have speed. You can redesign your operation in weeks, not years. You can identify your real constraint, the thing that's actually limiting your revenue right now, and build connected agent infrastructure around it without a committee, without a procurement cycle, without the politics, the red tape. The gap between a small business with real AI infrastructure and a small business running scattered tools is widening every single month. And unlike the enterprises where the bureaucracy slows everything down, you can close that gap fast if you know what you're building towards. So let me bring this back to where we started. 80% of workers rejecting AI tools is not a story about AI failing. It's a story about what happens when you treat infrastructure like a subscription, when you mandate behavior without building the system that makes the behavior worth doing, when the strategy is performance instead of architecture. The backlash is rational, it's predictable, and it's actually clarifying because the noise, the bad implementations, the performance strategies, the mandated tool usage, all of that is filtering out the operators who weren't serious from the beginning. What's left is real opportunity, specific, measurable, buildable right now, not tools, infrastructure, not usage number, revenue outcomes, not AI adoption, AI architecture that compounds. That is what AI Money Map is built to help you install. If this reframe landed for you, if you've been consuming AI content and something finally clicked about why the tools aren't moving the needle, I want to talk to you. DM me the word Money Maps on Instagram. That's at AI Money Maps. We'll map your current operations, find your real constraint, and identify exactly where connected agent infrastructure will actually compound your revenue instead of adding more noise. The link is in the description. And if you know anyone who's frustrated with AI, who's tried tools and gotten nothing, share this with them because the problem isn't the technology. It never was. This is the agentic revolution. I see you on the next one.